What's going on, guys? Welcome to the final episode of the final 00CTOBER, and it is Halloween, which means we're going to do something a bit different, because what we have here in front of you is, in fact, the number 57 Manhunter Deep Sea Ripper. And every single one of you just went, what the hell are you talking about, Shoki? This is not a Gundam or a 00 kit. So why? And to that I say, shh, shh. You'll find out. You'll find out, Kenneth. Just wait. Okay, so first time I've ever doing any of these kits. I know they did the frogs before. I actually kind of wanted to get the frogs. I did not get the frogs, unfortunately. So let's look at the shark box while we're here. Really nice artwork here. You got the shark robot mecha thing going on there. At least the white or great white version. You got a little hammerhead friend over there doing the same thing in a slightly different configuration, which is key. You got the 124 scale. Oh, so that's like a true model scale. So this thing is meant to be like real world size. Interesting. Okay, cool 57 logo. I don't know what that is. It's interesting, like a little hard hat going on there. Things got like an authenticated logo sticker there. Didn't know they'd be so important that somebody rip them off. And you've got whatever that logo is. KEMD? No clue. The actual may vary slightly from the images on the package. 2019. Wow, really? Didn't know it was that long ago. But made in China. Excellent. And then you come down here and you've got Deep Sea Ripper. So you got him here in his different modes, including that one, and then that one, and then that one, and then even the high thrust mode, which makes me feel a certain way. Also, I gotta adjust this here. Hold on. Oh, wrong way. I'm playing with my camera settings a little bit here, guys. See if I could do a little bit more. Oh. Okay, let's see how that works. Okay, so number 57, Manhunter. Come around there, Deep Sea Ripper, all those kind of things. So I guess Manhunter is technically the sub brand, and then Deep Sea Ripper is, of course, just the shark version. Wow, that changed up a lot once I turned it. Okay, and it's a good thing these boxes are laid out just like Gundam boxes, or else it'd be awkward. So you got the unlimited base. I'll tell you right now, it's a pretty limited base. All right, and you got stuff there written in, I assume, Chinese. So far I can't read it. You got warning. Keep 3-year-olds away from this particular shark mecha. You will get eaten. And then you got all the kind of things here. You got ABS and PVC, which I'll talk about why that led to some small issues for me. More things and credits and things. I said USB, UPC. Little guy with toilet. That's always good. Polybad, ABS, PVC. Plastic model kit, age 15 and up. Hey, I'm right in the middle of that. And then illustration is by Zach. What's up, Zach? Also, that's so small, I thought it said Zoc. I was like, really? Dude named Zoc. Alright, so, not even a Gundam. Still upside down. I don't know, y'all do the math on it. And if you've seen this kit before, even in pictures, I think you might understand exactly why I chose this for 00CTOBER. But if not, I'll tell you plainly here in a second. Let's go. Alright, guys. Here I present to you the GN-001 GW1 GN TIBURON. Yeah, it's a 00 shark Gundam. So I guess in the universe, celestial beings always coming up with kooky stuff. But in this case, as they were exploring the ocean, they discovered a weird old shark mecha that had been bioengineered but deactivated a long time ago. And of course, because they just wanted to make sure they had the ability to conquer any war, they went ahead and re-engineered it with some parts left over from, extra Gundams. We do have GN condensers mounted here on the shoulders. We do have, instead of normal propulsion, we do have GN vernier. We even have the ability to vent some GN particles out through the chest for cooling. And we do have large particle beam emitters added to the front arms. And for extra stability and power, we do have twin drive system here on the backpack. Yes. And even just to make sure we get some even distribution, we have some GN power cable wrapped around there just to make sure it does work out well. Even more GN thrusters on the back for added power. So yeah, did modify this guy quite a bit just to make sure it would work. Here, I'm gonna put him here, and then I'll find an image of the stock version for you over there so you can see roughly how much I changed, because I was supposed to review this thing as it was stock and then customize it, but I ran out of time and just jumped straight into the customization part, which is of course always the fun part. So yeah, and I did send pictures of it as I was almost done with it to a couple friends just to get their thoughts. And in between, I figured out that I kind of liked this configuration a little bit better. And yeah, it does have actual configurability. I'll show that off too. But just to get in on some of the details, hold on, I gotta. Okay, so we do have a large celestial being logo here on the top of the head, so you know exactly who it's from. You do have a much larger sensor added right there, along with some white stripery, some little caution logos here and there, smaller blue celestial beings there on the GN condenser shoulders, and of course you can see here clear bits with the classic green underneath. You do have some very nicely painted teeth and even the eyes, but I replaced the white eyes with some Gundam green sensors there, and even a caution logo down here to warn you of the sharp teeth as you come in from below. Now the head itself does have a tiny bit of posability, but not too much. You can kind of just sort of move it around. He's also got some extra kind of stickers there just to make him good. And you can, even though technically for transformation, it does add some posability to it. If you bring this up, now he's kind of angry or looking up. He's like, "Rah!" Looking up there. And the cool thing is it does rotate the arms while you do that too. Come down to the chest, you have another large celestial being logo, just in case you've forgotten who you're dealing with. And from underneath it works there. And then a couple white things under the vents. Another caution kind of logo here on the crotch because, well, it's the crotch. You should always be warned. You have the GN thrusters there, replacing the original propellers. A couple of white stripes on either side of that. And this way it can maneuver forward and back through the water. No big deal. Got some more caution logos right here. You got some little fingies, little claws that open up, and you got a nice little red thing there. Yeah, I did kind of cheap out and just kind of do that the normal Bandai way and just wrap a round thing with a cool metallic red sticker. Did the same thing on that side. I think this one came out a little bit better. Just a little bit. If I had some minor complaints about this kit, like the actual kit, it's sometimes the fitment is a little weird, and because it's all ABS, sometimes it has a lot of give, and then sometimes it doesn't. It's a little bit weird. Sometimes it gives too much. Come down here to his tail armor. Got some caution logos there. And then back here on the back, you do have that. Along with a GN drive warning there and a normal warning. And we come back here, we do have the larger GN vernier along with the twin drive pods as well, along with some added maneuverability here as well. And yeah, there's none on the inside because, well, frankly, I ran out of them. So that's pretty cool. And even though I just kind of showed off the entire thing without really showing off articulation, I might as well just do that while I'm at it. So the arms are just ball joint mounted here, and you can go all the way around. I'm going to zoom out just a hair. There we go. And under that, you do have some bicep rotation, and you have forward and back movement mounted from the shoulder. And then, of course, the elbow joint itself, but you can't rotate it while it's rotated because otherwise it just run into things. So you can't come straight down, and then for transformation's sake, it can all straighten up. We'll talk about that here in a bit. We already showed this part off for going up and down. It'd be cool if the mouth was articulated, but no. And then you do have a ball joint mounted waist, which, cool, it does the thing. Basically everything's a ball joint mount. Ball joint hips, which gets you a decent amount of movement. Also, because it's all ABS and no polycaps, it will probably wear down over time, so just be warned. You do get a knee joint here, technically. That's a moving knee joint there. And then you have one of the most useless ankle joints ever. So you got a ball joint up here and a ball joint down there, and then this little tag right here that's just meant to limit movement just a hair so that won't flatten out all the way. So for transformation's sake, there is just a straight up, basically dog bone that you can replace that with, but I don't bother because I want the stability in standing mode, and that's about as good as it gets. You can try to straighten it out for some more height, but it doesn't necessarily work because now the center here, the center front now is carrying all the weight, and it's a little awkward, I will say. So, like, that ball joint is not the smoothest. So you end up actually rocking it back anyways. You do get some toe movement here, the back claw and the front claw. So these are the only thrusters I did not get rid of because I figure maybe in water you just keep some of them. I don't know. It's kind of hard to replace something that's the core of the foot. All right. And down here you do have some movement with the tail. That can move up and down due to transformation. And yes, it does transform. You do get a kind of universal joint in each one of these. And I will say this one right here is a pain and did not fit worth a damn out of the box. And it took a surprising amount of force to get that one in tow. But like the fact that he does have a moving tail is pretty cool. And of course with the backpack, these are ball joint mounted up here, which can allow you to swivel virtually all the way around. You do have a hinge here that is limited now because of the GN Drive edition. And then what the original version did not have this, and it had a thruster here, and which would just snug inside what was a hole. And then you do have rotation ability here. So if you wanted to, you could do something like this. You know, it looks a little funny, but you know, then that way your GN drives are kind of hanging out the top. You could also just do like that. So they're just chilling up and over the head there. But now your thrusters are facing the wrong way. So it is what it is. This is where we start getting into the fun of the thing. So I'm going to push this down here like this. Now, this thing is slightly modular, slightly adaptable, so you can change things up. But first, I think I'll go into transformation before I do that. So, like, because it's meant to transform in this configuration, I'll do that first. So let's just kind of clear the backpack up, something like that. We want to grab the head of the shark, tilt it all the way back as far as it goes. It'll be limited by the fin here. Then we want to grab the back of the shark and lift up like so. Grab the tail, bring it down, straighten it out essentially. And then we take the front arms, close up the claws, so close that up and bring this up and around and straight back like that. Like so, like so. Just sort of line that up. And then with the feet, we want to collapse the knee all the way up and then collapse your claws. This is where that extra dog bone would come in handy because it'll allow you to fold this essentially flat right there and then just pull the legs up as tight as you can. Excuse me. You know, in some ways, this reminds me of the Beast Box Deep one because it has some very similar kind of transformations here. There we go. Make sure that's pushed all the way up. Now, the annoying part is that the way this is designed, it's going to be a little out of whack. Oh yeah, here the shark moved. There we go. Now that's in the right spot. You'll feel it sort of pop into place, and then you're good. So I think this is essentially what we've got. So this is his new, what was it, thrust mode, hyper thrust mode, Sharky boy. So the GN drives are now pointing that way. It's like, it is what it is. I mean, you could drop those down for all it matters. This is the one part that's not thought out, I'll be honest with you. The only thing that sucks is there's no ability to mount it to a stand or something. So if you have a Tanashi action base with the claw, that would be your best bet for like actually putting this on a stand. But there he is, essentially his shark mode, which I think still kind of works with the whole new aesthetic. And I know some of you are wondering, hey, Shoki, why didn't you do it in its original configuration with the GN drives? Probably would have made more sense. Ha! I will tell you, my friend, it actually doesn't. Given the size of the GN drives I have, which I believe these are from the RG. They look too good to have been from an HG. I did have HG GN drives laying around, but that's not what I went with. So either way, let's get it back to normal mode here. All right. So he does come with some accessories, and I'll go over those before I swap up the gimmicks here. And he does come with a torpedo gun, which is cool, and it like segments, and then you even have like extra stuff going on the inside. Now, the weird thing is, he comes with a gun that has a handle with a tab in it. But as you'll notice, there's no hands on this guy, like, at all. Now, it does have these posts that if you want, I believe you can mount... Nope, not there. I thought I had a spot I could mount that. Oh, I'm thinking of the other thing. Yeah, the other thing. Oh, that's right. It would work over here on those. I believe you can tab that in there. Yeah, so you can't hold it, but you can plug it in for at least storage sake. And, you know, we like storage, but they gave you a set of weapons, which actually seemed kind of extra, if I'm honest with you. And then you can't use it. It looks cool, and it does look like there's some modular options in the box, but I don't know what else you're going to do with that. Speaking of other weapons, you do get a cool twin harpoon gun, which I think is also meant to be like a drag you through the water thing. And once again, that's a handle with that. And you know, the irony being that I think if I had the normal like MG Exia handling around, that could potentially actually work. And I don't have one. Maybe here in a second I'll go grab one. But it does have the cool harpoon thing going on, and they do actually come out, which is pretty cool in itself. And you can actually probably hold those like knives. It's crazy. It comes with all this extra stuff. And I'm going to guess it's from a frogs, if I had to make a real guess. And once again, you do have this small peg here, which could easily plug in back here. So you have a thing that can be held, or you can have a thing that can be plugged in. Although now, because of the way I've done the GN thrusters there, you lose that capability. Although, interesting weapons. Now, in the future, I could actually probably make this thing a little bit more modular and give it proper Gundam hands. I definitely lost time in doing something that involved. Basically, how I created this was glue and drilling some holes. That's essentially all it was. Oh, yes. Next weapon, sort of, is a mine that won't stay on. Where'd it go? Okay. So, it's a cool little deep sea mine, not gonna lie. I actually dig it. But it doesn't fit super well on the wire here. And I don't believe there's meant to be storage for this. I could be wrong. That might actually be the same size peg. And one thing is, because I still have some parts left over from one of the Astrayas that does have the Gundam hammer. I thought about trying to combine the two and actually have that like a GN mine. That would have been interesting. Once again, things that could be done in the future. You know, and if I do those things, I'll definitely update you. He does come with spare heads, which is always good. So he comes with a non-open mouth great white head. pre-painted, which is always cool. Like, I like it when companies give you a pre-painted head. That is actually really cool. Or pre-painted anything, to be honest with you. Okay, so the next one is a different option that I did modify for. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the old head off. Real simple, like that. There's a ball joint there, so it does mean that it should move. But I'm going for the hammerhead version. There he goes. Okay. So the hammerhead version, a little different. Got the Celestial Being logo there. A couple caution stickers around the eye. Caution sticker under the mouth. I don't have any extra cool stickers. Okay, so here's one problem I have right here. This right here. This little side shoulder piece here will never stay plugged in, no matter what you do. So if you're not planning on ever taking it apart, just go ahead and glue that in place. Give some cement, or some super glue, in fact, because unless you have ABS cement, you're not going to get very far. The more you articulate the arms, the more you rotate the head up and down, because the shoulders are on the same joint that the entire torso is. The more that will pop off. And when I do the swap here for configuration, you'll see even worse. So it is what it is. Kind of like the hammerhead look. It's got a vibe. Hammerhead definitely has a vibe to it. And on top of that, for those who are really crafty, they give you unpainted heads. So you could totally paint them up however you want, which is pretty cool. Of course, this is that real soft PVC stuff, so that's going to be on you. Basically almost polycap material, a little squishy. And I love that it gives you the mouth, the separate mouth parts to go in the open mouth one. So that's actually pretty cool to go there. And then you do have the display base, which is not on camera. Oh, wow. I didn't realize how far out I was zoomed. Okay. So you do get his display thing, his base, as it were. And I followed the instructions on this thing, and I'm going to show you. He only barely fits inside there. And in some configurations, he won't fit inside there, which is strange. Actually, the funny thing is right now he's fitting in fine. Normally it's a problem. And I mean like height-wise, which is like, why? It's like, if he's designed to fit inside here, why is he not? You know? It's a pretty cool thing and super modular. And you could tell that it's meant to be configured in a whole bunch of different ways. I mean, there's still a ton of parts in the box for this specifically, which is interesting. So I like to believe this is where they found the shark, in an underwater base. And then if you pop that open, you actually have a cool little thing going on there. And then I think technically, I could be wrong, if you could get to one of the holes, I bet this would be mountable on the wall. But I mean, there's so much stuff that this comes with, so it's possible there's weapon mounts that I don't even realize. So let's just set that aside. And then let's reconfigure this guy to its alternate mode. Real easy. I mean, you yoink the arms off very carefully, because these are only just glued in place. Okay, hold on. Whoa, I'm pulling off the entire thing. That was not my intention. Okay, so pull off just this. This was not meant to be yoinked off, so I gotta be careful. Okay. Swing the arm around. Give it a grip. Pull it off. Okay. Swing it around. Pull that off. Okay. So that's actually fairly difficult when it's fresh in the box. I'm going to be honest with you. So these are the gray parts. These parts here are the ones that keep popping off. So there's just 3 holes, 3 plugs. Just deal with it as you please. And I will show you here that I do have the GN verniers there, kind of cut to fit and a little bit sloppily. That wasn't my original intention. My original intention was to use the initial little props here with the smallest little GN verniers that I have. I could still do that. If I do, once again, there'll be an update video. And so what we want to do here is I want to come to the backpack and pull off these arms, which, by the way, I will tell you this right now. On mine, when it comes to this little backpack mount, these side pieces are normally just a press fit, and they are not a great fit. They would pop off at the drop of a hat. Like, there's a little bit of tension there, and it's like a design fit. So I had to glue those in place. These are absolutely glued on, like 100%. Could not do it. Okay, so we took that off. So now what I want to do, is that correct? I got to remember which way I'm looking at it. No, this is the right side here. Okay. Then left side. Ow. Okay. So go ahead and leave those facing down like so. And then it's easier to put take the arms off and on when the backpack's not there, so you have something to grip to. Otherwise, you're like basically gripping here around the fin, and it's a bad plan. All right, so this is meant to be the left arm or the right arm. Oh, okay, this is the left arm. Okay. Always tell by which way it's facing out. Now, of course, in its original packaging, as it were, it doesn't matter. It's like they're kind of universal. The other thing is pushing this in will also knock that out because there's just enough play inside the torso there that'll just go. Now that we have the arms on, we do have to bring out its claws. It's got to be able to grip things, right? Yeah, that's only fair. I mean, realistically, he's not gripping anything, but, you know, that's just part of the charm of it. Like so. Okay. And I actually kind of like the idea that this is for just the hammerhead version. That might be a fun gimmick. Okay, so there we go. Now he's in his alternate form, where the GN drives are very much like the Reborn's Gundam, mounted to the elbows, you know, and then once again you still have your, you know, GN verniers pointing every direction, but also much like the Reborn's Gundam, you can flip this guy around. Actually, I'm going to utilize the arm rotation here. Hold on. And you can have some over-the-shoulder cannons. And because those are GN condensers, they could store up a whole bunch of particles and then blast away. So, there we go. There's our hammerhead configuration. Actually, it's pretty cool. You can get a picture of that. Okay, guys. So I'm going to answer the main question as to why I'm crazy and made a weird, you know, 00 flavored shark robot. And simply put, it came with these. So in theory, they really considered these to be torpedo tips. But that's 100% a GN drive. Come on. That's a GN drive like there's no tomorrow. I mean, there's the actual GN drive. Here's this. I mean, even if you pull out a regular HG GN drive, it very much is this. I mean, hell, it even mounts very similarly. Now, it can't mount that way anymore. They were here where I put the GN condensers, but I had to cut off the post to actually mount those. And yes, those are the GN leg condensers from an Exia. These are actually the knees of an Exia chopped a lot and then glued in place. And by the way, because it is all ABS, and I tried using plastic cement before I realized it was all ABS, almost nothing is a permanent fix. You know, some of it is just sort of press fit, which actually worked out pretty well. So I'm going to glue those damn things in place. And I'm never going to paint this thing as it sits, so it's going to be fine. So where all of the GN thrusters are, GN verniers, however you want to call it, so this was a big old propeller. And what I did is I drilled it out. And you can see here how kind of just smooth and round it is. It wasn't like that. In fact, it actually had steps. And the way I wanted it to do was have this really inset inside there. But when I drilled it out, it generated so much heat that it actually completely reshaped the part. And then when I came to the second one, I ended up drilling it differently. And you can see how this ridge is here. I ended up just sanding it down so it would be equal to that side. And then here, those are little small propellers, just like they are on the inside. Drilled that out, stuck it in there. Originally, I was going to put GN condensers there, like it would be in the arm. Same thing here. But I had to make up for that with some of the cool holographic material here, which I don't think I can get to go holographic. So that is the same GN power strip stuff that all the MGs come with. In fact, that's where it came from. You know, hold on to those so you can use it for cool custom shit. I don't think did I customize too much more? I don't think so. I mean, did the same thing here, you know, drill it out and made the hole just big enough for that and then glued it in place. Oh, the chest. So I added the chest vents here that are legitimately from an Exia. Right there. That's fine. Looks cool. Just cut a hole, stuck it in there, glued it in place. No big deal. It's just a fun project. Now, the other thing I kind of wanted to do was add some hands, either from an MG or an HG. And I would use these claw bits to do it, not here, because there's no good way to do that. I want to keep the blaster bits. The other thing would be, I wonder if I could just remove the blaster and then just sock in a hand. Huh. Hold on. Okay, so we're just gonna play the game as it lays in front of us here. So stay there. This part's easy enough to remove. One thing is, being ABS, you know, a lot of it wants to move and be able to do things. You know, set it more like a toy than a model, honestly. All right, so all I have here is the orange center bit, which I added the sticker to. No big deal. All right, so let's push that out. Okay, so let's put that back with nothing in it. I mean, that looks like a perfectly good socket, yeah? Oh, almost. Like, if I put something in there for it to sock into, yeah, that spare MG hand. All right, so I'm going to check something just real quick because I talked about it. So let's see. Proving things on camera. Ah, damn near. Although it looks like with just the hand itself, you know, it's pretty much doable. Like, you could make that work. Do I have a spare HG hand laying here somewhere? I had something. What was it? That's a fist. You know, the one time I need spare hands and I don't have any. You know, normally I have hands lying everywhere. I did actually just a second ago, but those are virtue hands. They don't work like that. Let me fix this real quick and I'll wrap this up. There we go. And then you can just chunk that in there. So yeah, I think if I add a poly cap behind that to capture the ball joint itself, it will work. And I could add some hands to it. All modifications for the future. Either that or maybe the frog version comes with hands, and that's what I really need is frogs. So either way, guys, that's going to be it for Double October as it goes. And of course, this is a Halloween special because he's dressed up like a Gundam. That's the point. It's meant to be funny that we have a weird shark robot pretending to be a Gundam. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And one other thing I will add, I would have liked to have added some like the clear GN material for the tail and or the shark fin. So either way, but guys, let me know what you think down below. Have you customized some of these yourself? You know what I'm talking about? Yay? Nay? Is it cool? Is it dumb? Which head do you prefer, the hammerhead or the sharky shark? You know, and which configuration do you like? Do you like the Canon backpack or the GN Drive backpack? I'm actually torn. I like it kind of both ways, if I'm honest with you. And then, of course, using the elbows, you can just point them however you like so. But either way, no, it was as soon as I saw the shark thing, I knew I was going to bring it in for Double October, and I got it in just in plenty of time. And of course, because I was customizing it, I saved it for last just in case. And I think it came out pretty fun. You know, it's not 100% what I wanted because I had the melting issues and stuff, but other than that, I enjoyed it. The build is easy, got it done in one afternoon. It is ABS, so if you're going to paint it, be very careful with using the right paint so you don't end up melting it. It's a super thing. The plastic feels different. It also has different textures. It's got the softer plastic. It has a glossy plastic. It's kind of nice. Pre-painted heads, good there. Actually reminds me a bit of Flame Toys. So there's that. But that's going to be it, guys. Like I already said, that's going to be it. But I will catch you on the next Double October. And I did make the announcement that Double October will no longer be this type of content from me. Instead, Double October will now be a build contest for you guys. So that's what's going to happen in the future. Figure I might as well just drop it here as well if you miss a live stream. But yeah. So hope you had a great October. Hope you enjoyed this. Go back and watch the playlist. If you haven't, go watch the old Double Octobers. If you haven't, pretty much the most popular thing on my channel. And of course, I will have merch available with the new design eventually when Teespring gets their head out of their butt. And then, of course, the old designs are still there if you want to support the channel and get some Double October gear. And I'll see you when I see you. Remember, as always, keep on building.